Did you know there's one special day on the calendar when heaven itself bends, leans in, just to reach you? Yes, exactly that. It's not a metaphor, not just tradition. It's a spiritual reality, confirmed by faith, the Bible, and lived by the saints. On June 21st, the feast of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the love, mercy, and protection of the Mother of Jesus Christ descends supernaturally upon the earth. It's as if God's very throne opens up, pouring out graces you won't find on any other day of the year. And those who understand this, those who sense this spiritual gateway opening, never see that day as just another ordinary date again. That's why in this video, we celebrate June 21st, the day the Heart of Mary opens doors to powerful miracles for those who believe. Maybe you don't yet know the 3 simple practices that can transform your life and bring extraordinary blessings on this special day. To strengthen your faith and ask for this blessing, write in the comments, "Heart of Mary, open the doors of my life." A gesture of trust that can invite miracles and protection. Now, let's learn together what these 3 things are that you should do on this blessed day. Now think with me. How many times have you let a divine opportunity pass simply because you didn't know it was there? That's exactly what happens to thousands of Christians, devout followers, young believers, even those who've been attending church for years. They walk right past one of the most important days in Christian spirituality without even realizing heaven was knocking at the door. And you know what? This isn't to blame you, not at all. It's to awaken you. Because once you discover the hidden power of this day, you'll never live on the same spiritual wavelength again. In fact, get ready, because today you're going to understand the 3 spiritual practices that have transformed lives, families, and stories, and could be the turning point in your faith journey. And hey, if you love Our Lady, make a gesture of faith right now, a public declaration in the spiritual world. Write in the comments, like a living prayer rising straight to God's throne, "Holy Mother, keep my life in your immaculate heart." Don't think it's just any comment. No. It's much more. It's a seed of blessing you plant in the field of your spirituality. And don't be surprised, because from here on out, you're going to discover things most people have never heard in any service, sermon, Bible study, or even church preaching. And, of course, that brings us straight to something very few know about the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Now take a deep breath and imagine this. There's a heart that has never judged you. A heart that never abandoned you, even when you strayed from faith, the Bible, prayer, spirituality, or even the church. A heart that beats to the rhythm of the purest love there is. And this heart has a name, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. On June 21st, this heart opens in a way the natural world can't explain. It opens for you, to welcome you, to protect you, to heal you. And this isn't just sweet talk. It's spiritual reality. A promise confirmed in the Gospel and in the testimonies of those who live this intimacy with Mary and Jesus Christ. You know that feeling of being alone, helpless, invisible in the face of your problems? Well, on this day, that feeling loses all its power. Because the mother's heart becomes refuge, becomes embrace, becomes protection. And it doesn't matter if you're facing anxiety, depression, family troubles, debt, illness, or even a crisis in your Christian walk. When you truly surrender to this heart, you realize you're no longer fighting alone. It's as if Our Lady whispers in your ear, "Son, daughter, I am here. I never left. And today, I take your hand." And the most amazing thing, you don't have to do anything grand, nor know complicated prayers, nor memorize long Bible passages. What the Immaculate Heart expects is that you open the door, that you say, with simple faith, with trembling voice, or even in silence, "Mother, help me. Hold me in your heart." And do you know what happens when you do that? The invisible begins to move. Doors open. Paths that were closed start to unlock. And that's just the beginning, because there's a much greater reason this day isn't like any other. Look, There are things you just can't ignore. One of them is understanding that June 21st is simply not an ordinary day on the calendar of faith, prayer, spirituality, and Christianity. No, it's not just another lovely date dedicated to Our Lady. It's actually a spiritual portal. And when I say portal, I mean real. On this day, supernatural graces descend from heaven in a way that doesn't happen at any other time of year. It's like God Himself says, "Today, whoever seeks refuge in the heart of my mother will receive what once seemed impossible." It's protection, restoration, healing, miracle. Ever felt like your prayers aren't being heard? Well, on this day, it's different. It's as if the whole of heaven stands ready, alert, waiting for that child who chooses to take refuge in the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And let me be clear, this isn't mystical mumbo-jumbo, superstition, or some internet invention. This is deeply rooted in church tradition, the Bible, the lives of the saints, the gospel, and thousands of testimonies of faith. Saints like Padre Pio not only recognized this day, they made a point of living this gateway of blessings intensely. And you know the saddest part? Many people pass right through this day without even noticing. Distracted, busy, numbed by life's problems, by social media, by the rush of work, they let one of the greatest treasures of Christian spirituality slip away. And that's why you're here now. Because those who understand this never live this day as just another page on the calendar again. And if you think that's powerful, get ready, because there's a spiritual secret about this day that very few know, and it changes absolutely everything. Very few people know this, but June 21st holds a deep spiritual secret, almost invisible to the eyes of the world, yet clear to those who nurture faith and spirituality in their daily lives. On this special day, the Immaculate Heart of Mary makes a spiritual visit to every home, every heart willing to open its door. This visit isn't just symbolic, it's real and tangible, even if many don't notice it. It's as if heaven whispers softly into the silence of our souls, bringing a gentle touch, a motherly presence that comforts, protects, and renews. The Bible speaks of unexpected encounters with the divine, and here is living proof that Mary remains active, walking with us. Have you ever stopped to think how many times the invisible knocks at the door and we don't even notice? Well, on this day, those with eyes of faith know that heaven touches earth in a special way. It's a moment when spirituality shows itself through subtle signs, a shiver, an intuition, a sudden peace, an inexplicable feeling of being welcomed. For young Christians, for faithful churchgoers, and for those who cultivate sincere devotion, this touch is an invitation to a deep encounter, a moment of worship and praise that goes beyond the natural. This doesn't come from sermons or Bible studies. It comes from the living encounter with the Immaculate Heart. And you know what's even more amazing? This visit doesn't happen only in churches or temples, but inside every home, in every heart that opens itself to receive. It's an invitation to practice prayer, to surrender with full faith, to renew communion with Jesus Christ through His Mother. It's a secret kept under lock and key, but accessible to anyone who truly desires to live an authentic Christian life, full of genuine praise and worship. And this mystery leads us straight to the key that unlocks this divine portal, the words that open heaven's heart. There's a powerful force in words, not those said casually, but those spoken with faith and intention in the heart. On June 21st, a simple yet profound phrase acts as a spiritual key, capable of opening doors in heaven, releasing graces and miracles. That phrase is, "Mary, may your Immaculate Heart pass through my life." Saying this, whether aloud or silently, is not just a beautiful expression. It's a code that connects directly with spirituality, with true prayer, with the intercession of the Mother of Jesus Christ. These words have the power to transform a service, a devotional moment, or even a time of silence into something extraordinary, where heaven touches earth. Think about Bible studies, sermons, and testimonies of faith. Everywhere, the Word has life, has power. And it's no different here. When this phrase is repeated sincerely, it draws the attention of the Immaculate Heart, the love that never fails, the refuge that embraces every pain, every anxiety, every doubt. It's a prayer beyond the verbal, a silent praise that echoes at the heavenly throne and in the hearts of people, strengthening spirituality and faith inside the church and among young Christians seeking a genuine encounter with God. Moreover, this prayer is accessible to everyone. It can be said while walking, during a service, in the quiet of your room, or while studying the Bible. For example, a young Christian might use this phrase during difficult times to keep focus on faith. Or a family could say it together, strengthening spiritual communion at home. It's an invitation to live spirituality in action, bringing into the present the love and protection of the Immaculate Heart. And this brings us directly to what Padre Pio discovered about this power. Padre Pio, one of the great saints of Christian spirituality, lived the devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary intensely and taught that this surrender brings blessings far beyond what the eyes can see. He said that those who dedicate themselves to this devotion receive 3 special graces: an invisible protection that works against the forces of evil, a deep inner healing that reaches the wounds of the soul, and finally, the opening of doors to miracles that, to human eyes, seem simply impossible. This is no exaggeration. It's a testimony of faith, based on his own life and the stories of many who lived under this divine protection. Can you imagine the impact these graces have on the life of someone who believes? Invisible protection, for example, isn't something you see with your physical eyes, but you feel it in your heart, the peace that remains even in the storms of life, whether at church services or through daily struggles. The inner healing, that one truly transforms emotional and spiritual wounds, helping to restore communion with Jesus Christ and with faith itself. And the open doors. Those are the opportunities that come when least expected, the answers to prayers that seemed forgotten. Padre Pio shows us that surrender to the Immaculate Heart is more than a beautiful devotion. It's a path of real and concrete transformation. That's why he encouraged young Christians, the faithful, and even those distant from the Church to seek refuge in this heart. After all, if there is a day when this grace is poured out in a special way, it is June 21st. And this gift prepares us to understand why, exactly on this day, heaven opens in a different way, allowing something unique in the spirituality of those who believe. Something unique happens on June 21st. It's as if heaven throws open its doors and says, "Today, I will answer every heart seeking refuge in the Immaculate Heart of Mary." This day becomes a true refuge, a kind of spiritual safe harbor where the protection and mercy of Jesus Christ arrive more intensely. Spirituality and prayer take on new meaning because, on this day, the connection with Our Lady is more alive, closer, more tangible. The Gospel reminds us that God is always attentive to the needs of His children, and in this special moment, He allows that attention to be even deeper. The Bible is full of stories where God manifests in special ways at certain times, and the Day of the Immaculate Heart is one of those moments when divine grace pours out abundantly. Those who have experienced this truth know it's not just a church ritual or tradition, but a call to total surrender, so spirituality can flourish and praise turns into action. It's the moment when prayer stops being routine and becomes a real, life-changing encounter. Young Christians, for example, can use this day to renew their faith and take a decisive step forward in their journey with Jesus Christ. But be warned, the invitation is to seek, to open your heart, to fully embrace this spiritual experience with all your faith. Because heaven doesn't work miracles for those distracted, caught up in worldly worries. It opens itself to those who, despite flaws and doubts, choose to surrender completely, making the Immaculate Heart their refuge, a sacred altar of faith and devotion. And here lies the danger of living this day with a distracted heart. How many times, caught up in the daily rush, does the heart lose sight of what truly matters in the walk of faith? On June 21st, the Immaculate Heart of Mary is there, waiting, offering special graces and supernatural protection. But many miss this unique moment, distracted by their phones, arguments, or worries that ultimately don't bring the peace prayer and spirituality provide. This distraction is, in a way, a spiritual danger. It closes the door to blessings only this day can bring. It's a warning for young Christians and all church faithful to be alert and aware of the value of this sacred day. It's common to see people engaged in worship, sermons, and Bible studies throughout the year, yet on this special day, their hearts wander, far from the praise and adoration that could transform their lives. The enemy knows the power of this day and bets on distraction to weaken faith, undermine spirituality, and stop the gospel from fully manifesting. That's why it's essential for each person, through faith and prayer, to intentionally choose to live this day in total surrender, opening their heart to the graces the Immaculate Heart offers. A practical example for those wanting to avoid this trap is to turn off electronic devices, dedicate moments to prayer and meditation, and even gather the family for a simple devotional service at home. This strengthens communion and connection with Jesus Christ and Our Lady. It's like planting a seed that, with faith and care, will bloom into miracles and testimonies of faith. But if the heart stays distracted, opportunities are lost, and that brings us to a fundamental question. Can we recognize when the Mother is knocking at our door? Remember the story of the disciples on the road to Emmaus? Two men walking, talking about everything that had happened, without realizing Jesus was walking beside them. Many times, we are just like that, so focused on our problems and daily distractions that we fail to recognize Our Lady's presence knocking at our heart's door. It's remarkable how the Gospel teaches us that faith demands attention, an attentive eye for the signs God gives us. Just as the disciples only recognized Jesus when he broke the bread, often we only see what truly matters when we open our hearts sincerely. This example is powerful for all of us, young Christians or those more seasoned in faith, because it shows that the divine presence is always there, even when we don't notice. Our Lady is passing through your life today, with that silent love, waiting to be welcomed. Have you ever stopped to think how many blessings might be going unnoticed because your heart is closed, distracted, too caught up in everyday worries? The Church and its services invite us precisely to open that inner space, that spiritual door, where praise and worship create the perfect environment for miracles. And the invitation is simple. Will you recognize this visit? Will you open the door and welcome it? Because June 21st is not just a date, it's a call for you to be present, attentive, and available. When you see Our Lady knocking at your door, a new chapter in your faith journey begins. And if you still doubt, listen to what other faith testimonies say about Mary's maternal presence on this special day. Stories of those who have experienced the Immaculate Heart of Mary on June 21st are more common than you might think, and they go far beyond simple tales. They are true testimonies of faith that have transformed lives. People of all ages, including young Christians and members of many churches, describe feeling a supernatural peace that calms the soul and opens doors to inner healing. Many speak of a maternal sensation, as if a loving hand wrapped around them, bringing comfort and hope during times of difficulty and discouragement. These testimonies echo the spiritual reality affirmed by the Bible and prayer. A striking example is a woman facing a serious illness who, after dedicating herself to the devotion of the Immaculate Heart on this day, felt a renewing strength that changed her outlook and gradually improved her health. Another example is young Christians who, opening themselves to this spirituality, found motivation to persevere in faith despite the many challenges of modern life. These accounts aren't isolated stories but concrete evidence of the power of prayer, spirituality, and the love of Jesus Christ manifested through Mary. They show us that the Immaculate Heart isn't something distant, but a living presence active in daily life, in families, in the heart of every believer. They invite us to experience this closeness, to let praise and worship deepen, and to open space for the miracles only those who live this devotion can understand. And speaking of miracles, June 21st is marked by clear, transformative signs that come precisely to those with open hearts. June 21st isn't just a symbolic date, it's a moment when the supernatural manifests in clear and surprising ways. Those who open their hearts to the Immaculate Heart of Mary can expect signs and miracles that change realities. Emotional reconciliations bringing peace where there was conflict, healings restoring not just the body but the spirit, and liberations breaking invisible chains that transform entire families. These events aren't rare. They happen often to those who live spirituality with true faith and constant prayer, trusting in the infinite love of Jesus Christ and the intercession of His Mother. People report receiving answers to prayers once deemed impossible, witnessing deep changes in their homes, and feeling a comforting presence that gives them strength to carry on. These experiences are strengthened by worship services, Bible studies, and moments of praise which, when aligned with devotion to the Immaculate Heart, become powerful channels for divine grace. Young Christians, for example, often find in this date a boost to renew their commitment to faith, seeing beyond the world's struggles and firmly rooting themselves in Jesus Christ. And the best part? These miracles and signs don't just happen by chance. They are fruits of active faith, sincere prayer, and devotional practices tied to June 21st, especially the 3 practices you are about to learn and apply to transform your life, your home, and your story. Ready to discover the first? On the night before June 21st, preparing your heart is key to receiving the graces of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The first spiritual practice is the Vigil of the Heart, a moment of silence and surrender, away from the noise of the world. Imagine turning off the lights, lighting a candle, grabbing paper and pen, and beginning to reflect. What do you need to place in the hands of the Holy Mother? What pains, fears, and wounds do you carry? Prayer, spirituality, and faith meet here in a sincere surrender that opens space for inner healing. This simple but powerful gesture prepares the ground for miracles to happen. Many saints, including Padre Pio, valued silence and vigil as essential moments to strengthen connection with God and Mary. For young Christians and all seeking a living faith, this vigil can be done at home, in a group, or alone during a devotional moment. Writing helps shape emotions and surrender to prayer what words cannot express. Then, in silence, repeat with an open heart, "Holy Mother, tomorrow I will be waiting for your visit in my home and in my heart." This is not a sacrifice, but an act of love and faith that prepares the soul to receive the special visit from heaven. From this preparation, the path opens to the next practice, which will make all the difference on this special day. On June 21st, living with your heart united to the Immaculate Heart of Mary is like joining an invisible procession, where every step, gesture, and thought is accompanied by the loving presence of the Mother. This is the second spiritual practice. Walk with her. No matter where you are, work, church, home, this union happens within, in silent prayer that can become a mantra, a secret prayer. Mary, walk with me. Mother, don't let me go. When anxiety, fear, or distraction come, this is the plea that strengthens, brings peace, and rekindles faith. This practice invites you to turn everyday life into a living worship, where praise and spirituality flow through everything you do. It's as if, at every moment, you're holding Mary's hand, feeling the strength of the Church and the Gospel beside you. For those starting out or seeking to deepen their faith journey, this prayer can be repeated during small breaks, while walking, in traffic, or even when studying Bible passages. It's a simple yet profound way to keep focus on spirituality, prayer, and the protection coming from the maternal heart. Moreover, walking with Mary's heart strengthens family and community bonds. Imagine gathering loved ones for this prayer during the day, creating moments of worship and praise together, strengthening ties with Jesus Christ and the Church. This practice makes June 21st a spiritual milestone that can transform not only your life but the story of your home. And this path leads us straight to the third practice, a gesture that turns your home into a true altar of the Immaculate Heart. Setting up an altar dedicated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary at home is more than decoration. It's a powerful spiritual act, a concrete expression of faith and spirituality that strengthens the entire family. This is the third step to activate the graces of June 21st. With simplicity and devotion, choose a special corner, maybe the living room, bedroom, or even the kitchen, and place an image of Mary, a lit candle, and a paper with the names of your family members. This altar becomes a gathering point for prayer, a refuge where the love of Jesus Christ and His Mother is present daily. This gesture invites you to turn your home into a domestic church, a place of worship, praise, and spiritual communion. Each time you pass by this altar, you can say a simple prayer like, "Immaculate Heart of Mary, pass through my life. Cover my home. Protect my family. Bless my path." It's a way to keep alive the connection with spirituality and the teachings of the gospel, surrounding your home with the protection only the mother's heart can offer. Also, this altar can become a space for family Bible studies, home services, and moments of faith sharing, especially strengthening young Christians. Finally, creating this altar invites your home to become a piece of heaven, a constant refuge of peace and spiritual protection. Padre Pio and other saints always emphasized the importance of having a dedicated space for devotion, where the strength of prayer and active faith manifests. And speaking of faith and transformation, let's see the impact of opening the heart to this experience on such a special day. Just like Bento in the story you already know, many come to this day wounded, discouraged, even a little distant from church and faith. Life brings its challenges, doubts linger, and the heart often feels too heavy to welcome anything new. But what spirituality and the gospel reveal to us is that the Immaculate Heart of Mary is always ready to reach out. If you decide to open the window of your soul and look at this heart with sincere faith, it will take your hand, lift you up, embrace you, and guide you back to the path of hope, healing, and true faith. This testimony isn't just a nice story to hear during worship or Bible study. It's the reality of those who truly surrender and experience the power of prayer, praise, and worship. Many people, including young Christians, report deep change after living through this day with an open heart. Families restored, passions rekindled, spiritual paths renewed. Jesus Christ works through his mother, and faith is the bridge that connects the human heart to the power of heaven. So never underestimate the power of this moment, nor the invitation it brings for transformation. And most importantly, even if you feel distant today, know you are not alone. The Church, spirituality, and the Bible assure us that Mary's love is endless, that she forgets no one, and that June 21st is the day when that love beats with special strength. So, how about opening the door of your heart and allowing this grace to enter your life for good?